my liver, my kidneys, my stomach. But I went in and it basically forced me to do work. I laid there and I was like, all right, fine. I'm going to do my most powerful techniques. I'm going to put all my attention and feeling into this. And I'm going to try to kill this headache the natural way. And I ended up using Rife technology, binaural beats, like frequency. And it fucking killed it, dude, within 10, 15 minutes. This shit that was killing me for hours just went away in 10, 15 minutes of just pure blasting it with frequency, going in, expanding everything, working the energy through my body. And so that pain, that darkness that I turned into light, I then could go tell my mother who suffers from chronic headaches, send her the link to the video. See what I'm saying? I like converted it. And then I could also make content and share it with fucking thousands of people who could get
Right.
something out of it. And all because I had this fucking headache. I helped all these fucking people. It's insane.
For
Um,
sure.
but yeah, dude, there's more techniques too, bro. And there's other little things that you can do to be more conductive. Like, don't eat a bunch of fucking food right before you do this shit. I like to wait like 2 hours at least because it'll literally create a roadblock in your solar
I-
plexus chakra.
I've noticed that because shit like cuz like my I stay with my dad. I just came back to help him out with some stuff. And I feel like honestly that like subconscious that be fucking with me cuz like he's been going through a lot of problems lately. He has a lot of he's going through like failure, all types of shit. And
Yeah,
I just moved back from Atlanta. I was living in Atlanta and I just came back to help him with stuff. And so just be on a routine, basically. I'm trying to say he'd be on a routine. He wants to eat at this time, and they kind of eat late for me, honestly. Especially by the time like I kind of go to bed and wake up for. And I noticed like the times that we eat really late, or like compared to the day, like I barely eat or might even fast. Like I'll definitely, be more locked in the
that's
food.
good. The food is good too, though. It's just like I noticed that the more shitty it is, it literally takes energy from you and it will create this roadblock because the chakra system is like, oh fuck, this asshole just threw in all this dead matter right here. So it's kind of like white blood cells have to like expend energy to go to the area that's being attacked, you know what I mean? And then if you eat healthy ass food, then it literally gives you energy. It has prana or plasma in it and it will start to seep into your system and I find it hard to relax too when that happens. I get more charged up and shit. But it's all
Mm,
about portions really. But yeah, the more toroidal the food, the more plasma's in it. So fruit, vegetables, shit like that. But
yeah.
I eat meat too because and eggs. So it's like chicken and ground beef and shit. I just, I was vegan for 2 years, but then I was just like, it made sense to me because my joints were always popping and hurting and shit, and my tendons, and I just fucking, I just had this like epiphany that I'm made of this shit, and it's like I'm made of light too, like so I need to sustain all my bodies, the minerals, the proteins, the sinew, the collagen, so
Right.
that's how I justify it anyway, it's worked out for me. So,
I,
um,
I I feel like it's cool though that you have that balance and shit, because I feel like sometimes you get into it like all love and light, and then it's like, oh well, you can't do this and you can't do that, and then they ended up being like, so judgmental, like contradicting of what they're all about and shit. So it's cool to hear that side, you
I'm
know.
just compelled to be completely just raw and dirty with people. Like, look, motherfucker, I have these fucked up problems, and this is how I overcome them, or I try to. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Like, can do
yeah,
that's all you can do, man.
that's the bodhisattva shit right there. It's
Hell
like,
yeah.
someone told me that. I don't know if you know about that. I didn't even know about it. Uh, but apparently they're like spiritual beings that come in and project into hell just to show other people how to get out. They like intentionally will go into hell and then conquer it just to like show other souls the process. And that's been in the Hindu culture for thousands of years. That's like a real thing. I guess we call it a star seed. You know what I mean? But that's what I feel like is happening for a lot of us, star seeds or whatever, wanderers in the law of one, is like we knew the risk coming here and we didn't need to, but we did it anyway to like help people. And
Yeah.
uh, and it's like the darkness is part of the process. It's like the XP in the video game to level up your character. You know what I mean?
Bro.
What matters is if you incorporate it, if you turn it to the light for healing, and then it
Yeah,
like grows your soul, your XP even more.
for sure, man. It's crazy
Oh.
because when I was at work today, I was like, all right, I gotta think of some shit to say to Jay. I gotta be on point. I gotta remember what I was trying to say and
Nah,
what.
we'll
And
flow.
I remember literally, I was thinking because I was like, damn, like you really be on mean astral travel. I mean, it seems like you're on point with the other stuff too, but like, and then I was gonna bring up the point how I really resonate with Diego's thing, and I was like thinking, I'm like, damn, it's like Skyrim or something. Like you could be
Fuck.
brute, or you could be like the magician. When you first start out, you're gonna have certain attributes that are higher than others. But as you playing the game, you can like build up all those attributes all the way up, whatever. But when you first start off, you might have like strengths, certain weaknesses, type shit.
Yeah, and just like I said with the chakra imbalances, which I have open right here on my laptop this whole time, is the solar plexus chakra symptoms of imbalances. It's like because of our avatar's template that we chose, because remember we jumped through the sun at a certain time, basically to get the astrological alignments imprinted into us for our fucking like we're setting up a character with the skill set and all this shit because
Right.
each planet's projecting these electromagnetic information or data through certain alignments. And so when it's very important when you jump in because it imprints you with your avatar, basically your skill set and your personality base and all this shit. And that being said, we are prone to certain chakra imbalances because of the way we conduct the flow with our thoughts and feelings in our chakra system in our field. So
Right.
as a Virgo, I have solar plexus problems, and I've had stomach problems my whole life. Oddly
Bro,
enough,
yes, that was another thing because, like I said, I'm a Virgo as well, and honestly, yeah, bro, like I, for a while, I was like constipated for the longest. I didn't know why? And like I'll be like good sometimes, and like I mean, as of lately, these last few weeks, I've been good. I ain't gonna lie, it's been pretty dope. But for a
this is the
while,
part. This is the part I'm going to share online right here. Just kidding.
go for it,
I've
go
been
for
so constipated, bro.
it.
Damn.
No, hell yeah,
Coffee
it's
helps.
facts. I love coffee. I be trying. I've been trying to not drink as much, even though I still
Yeah,
take. Earlier today, I drank green tea, but there was
there you
one
go.
time like stopped drinking coffee because I'm like, fuck it, I don't need it no more. I tried to stop cold turkey, right? What
What
I
happened?
had, I had caffeine withdrawals. That shit was crazy,
Like,
bro.
let me know what happened. Did you get headaches at all, or was it
Yeah,
worse?
I got a headache. Like, I got a headache. The first day was horrible. I damn near like threw up too. I didn't have nothing to throw up, but I was like, "Whoa, yeah." And then the second and third day, I just kind of felt like a little like sickly. Wasn't too
Oh
bad, but
man.
the first day, what that shit was horrible.
But did you start feeling better? Like
Yeah,
better
I did.
than before you drank coffee and shit?
Um, I mean, honestly, more so, it was just more so like, oh yeah, I'm not drinking anymore. But after that point, I just back on it. Like it wasn't as heavy. 'Cause at one point, it was probably like because I would drink in the morning for sure, and then um like this is when I wasn't working. This is when I was just like taking care of my dad. So then I'll just be like at night when I get ready to make music, more coffee to get amped up again. So it was like, and plus it was like, I don't even know how many cups it was because I had this cup. So it was a decent amount of coffee every day, like at in the morning and at night. But
Yeah.
now it's just every now and then, coffee wise, and then like for work I'll drink green tea and shit. And then like the weekends I notice like I'll get up and I'll be cool. But yeah.
Well, you look healthy as fuck, man. Your face, you haven't got no blemishes or nothing. It's like vibrant.
Pre-
Yeah. Which is a reflection of your internal workings, the way you're conducting your energy. So like I got like dark circles around my eyes right here, this like redness up here and a little dark right here. That's from fucking coffee and kratom, dude. It's kidneys not able to like pass this shit out. I think is what it is. That's the way that's what I tell myself anyway. But some days it's not as bad. Some days it's bad. But the caffeine, bro, it has to fuck with your flow and your energy for sure because your thoughts are huge, bro. That's what directs charge. Like the finger thing, it's what directs currents first and foremost is your thought forms. And if they're
yeah.
scattered out from caffeine, like that's got to particle out your waveform, which is suffering. So the bottom of the waveform structure, which essentially is you and this whole fucking hologram here, it's just like a rainbow, right? Red to violet. I don't know if you ever seen a waveform patterning before in the coherence chart, but at the very
Yeah, yeah.
bottom, the red, it's particled, it's separated. And then
Mm,
this is literally the science of why we suffer, bro, because of the separation. Because where there's separation, the energy can't easily pass. It's not coherent. And what happens when you get more coherent? Orgasm. So this is literally the science at the bottom of the waveform of why we suffer. It's insane. So whenever you particle out your energy like that, you create separation in your field, and which is suffering. So yeah, man, the caffeine has to do something, you know. And but it's like, where do you draw the fucking line? I'm a flawed human being. I'm a fallen creature. And then someone
I
out there will read this or see this and be like, "That's just because you tell yourself you are." Yeah, I've tried to be perfect multiple times, but
I feel like
sometimes
this,
I go ahead.
I feel like that's part of it, you know, man. Part of the human experience. As long as you know we're aware of it, and it's
Yeah,
not like too overboard. I mean, I don't know. It's like we might as well just enjoy it a little bit. We get these little sensations, and you know, just enjoy the human.
yeah. And the human being is incredible. I really got an understanding of how incredibly we are when I started to astral project and then try my light body techniques in my astral body. Because when you leave the third dimension, man, your thoughts will literally, and the frequency of your field, so your thoughts and your feelings and the way you're directing everything will like culminate ultimately to your vibration of your frequency that you're vibing at with your field, which will then put you into lower or higher dimensions out of 3D. Okay, so your ass, it's really important then when you're in your light body, when you're incorporeal, when you're not in 3D, because it'll literally transfer you in octaves. It's insane. I've experienced it multiple times, man. I was even in the mental plane one time, and then a fucked up thought came into my field, and I literally witnessed the transition and being sucked into a lower dimension. I literally fell down the ladder to a lower dimension into a middle astral realm from the fifth dimension. I literally perceived being sucked into my astral body from my solar body. I saw the color shift. I was sucked like something with like a huge vacuum just went in my back, and it was just like it was insane. But
Yeah,
here in 3D, we're just chilling, nested into this geometry, into this dense matter, and I can go from pissed off and full of despair one minute and then be totally blissed out and joyful another minute, and I'm still in the same place. I'm still in 3D, like point A to point B, and I'm in between, you know. And it's like that's the beauty of it is it's like a school, like like a Saturn, like Saturn has to do with structure and base, and it's literally like a daddy holding a fucking playground together for you so that you can learn in it, and it's physics and shit. And but other people like to look at it like, oh, we're trapped here, we're enslaved, and we're in hell and all this shit. But to me, I kind of look at it like an amazing school. You know what I mean? Because when I do this shit out of my body, there's no density, there's no 3D physics to hold me there. So while I experience all this broad spectrum of thoughts and emotions, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I go out of my body, bro, and I start changing my thoughts and feelings like that, like crazy, it'll literally just I'll transfer. I'll just fucking shoot into another dimension, which
Yeah.
isn't very grounding, is it? In fact, it's kind of chaotic.
Right.
And I like to feel secure sometimes, you know? And that's the beauty of the third dimension. It's like you wake up, you know it's going to be the same in a certain degree. You know what I mean? And you can always change your internal vibration. And believe it or not, there's always a way in and out of this fucking place. We're not trapped here. We just kind of have to wake up to our power. You could call that being trapped, but not really. The connection never severs completely. But yeah, that's
Bro,
the beauty of the Earth School, man.
yeah, bro. And I'll have to say,
What?
like, one thing by talking to you, and then even you describing like 0 point, the 0 point, like that shit blew my mind. I'll be telling all my homies about it. Like, bro, I talked to Plasma Boy 369. The 0 point, bro. The balance, not too much to the left, not to the right, like, bro. And yeah, I feel like you really helped me because, like, I've been waking up all this, like our superpower, all this shit. And I feel like for a certain point, I just had like my head off too far off in the clouds. Like I'm like waiting for okay, the great solar flash and all this. But
Yeah.
at the like I'm here for a reason. And then like the stuff I'm telling you with my dad, like, I came back for a reason. There's certain things I still need hands and still be grounded. You know? Just be grounded and just experience this for what it is. Cause there's always that, you know.
Yeah, it's a pendulum swing at first, right? Because, oh man, I could go off on the what happens when we project our consciousness into this place. We literally build a straw man out of, or an ego out of falsity, out of shadow, out of the Maya, the material, the materialism, the matter, and it's all the ideologies. They just start piling onto us like this suit of armor that holds our true light down, and then they hit you with the medication, the vaccinations. So it like creates this false shell around you, this heaviness, right? This like burden of this falsehood, and then but you still feel the calling, the connection to God, and then you try to fill it with these material objects and the drugs and the women and all this shit, but it's not working. But you still do it because it brings you to a different vibration away from those thoughts, or those higher thoughts and feelings that you're feeling that are uncomfortable, that you don't know what they are. And that's what happens to people. They find their coping mechanism, then they chase it, and then they try to vibe where they're supposed to in the Saturn system and go get work, pay bills, all this mundane shit. But that calling is still there, and then eventually they the coping mechanism starts to kill them, right? Because it's toxic. It's built on falsehood. And then that's the danger of the Saturn return, 27 to 33 years old. And everyone's different, but usually your coping mechanism starts to fuck you up by then. It really starts to fuck you up. Like you start hitting bottom. And what happens is this armor that you built, everything you thought you ever knew was true, that everyone told you was true, it starts to crumble, and you start hitting bottom and falling down. And the whole point then is you're being gifted a Christ or life, death, resurrection trinity, and you either die or you're reborn. And not everybody does either of those. A lot of people, they just stay like this their whole fucking life, like an NPC. But that's because they didn't have the fucking calling like we did, because our shit's more powerful, believe it or not. We're more powerful soul. So it's like the calling was just way heavier, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But it's
yeah,
like yeah, a lot of people they're given that opportunity, life, death, resurrection. A lot of people they die. I've lost a lot of friends to their coping mechanisms like heroin and shit and fentanyl, car accidents. They'll just go out. around that age. And then other people resurrect through the dark. It's like you literally, boom, just hit bottom with that armor, that false ego, the straw man you created, and then boom, it opens the portal back to God, and then you start like having epiphanies, and you're like, oh, you wake up through that rabbit hole, that downward spiral rabbit hole. You wake up, and then all of a sudden, you just shoot all your shit up high into the clouds, into the crown chakra and the third eye, and all this shit. And then your base is like suffering, like, hey, motherfucker, what about me? And you're not making money, you don't have a good job, you're not grounded in the 3D. You're like way up here, like, oh, I gotta escape out of this hell. You know what I mean? And dangling your legs and shit. And it's painful. And if you go through that, like, women will fucking lose respect for you and shit because they need safety, security, stability here. So a lot of us, when that happened, we got fucking cheated on, we got broken up with. Happened to me, bro. And then what's crazy is those heartbreaks grounded me back down. They were like blessings in disguise. Because when you traumatize a person, they'll harden up. They get more masculine, believe it or not. Even women. You hurt a woman a bunch, she'll get more masculine.
Mm.
And that's why we gotta like preserve femininity, really. But you like protect them. But a man, it'll make him more masculine, more grounded, and then you'll become cold, like too much masculine. Your heart chakra will start blocking, and then it's another learning experience. Like I need to open this shit back up again and be more grounded, be more empathetic, left brain, right brain, lower chakra, upper chakra, center my energy. And anyway, what I'm trying to say is there's like this fucking pendulum swing. It's not even a pendulum, it's a fucking figure eight like this because it's upper chakras, lower chakras, left brain, right brain. It's like a Merkaba. It's like consciousness going through a big ass Merkaba, dude. Is really what it is. And what I want to say is like the harder you hit bottom, it's like it has to reverberate a couple times. So that's where like relapse and shit comes in. It's never just like I'm fucking healed. It's not like that. It's like it kind of has to reverberate a little bit until it levels out and finds neutrality, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I feel like the more powerful the soul you are, the more you're probably going to get into trouble at first and do a bunch of crazy shit trying to look for God. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not knowing why you just feel like something's wrong. This place is fucked up. There's too much suffering. I don't like it. I don't know what it is, but yeah, man. So that's that's how it works. You have the mind of Christ, the logos, which is the mind of the galaxy, which is just another little g, right? From the big God. But the fucking thing starts out in the center point where it's the most concentrated plasma and energy. I think that's where its Godhead is essentially. And then it fractals itself out through the galaxy, throughout the star systems, incarnates into coherent DNA structures and plasma bodies. And when it does that, it's capped off. So therefore, your amnesic barrier, therefore your personalized little personality, little g, even more little now, the ego of Jason essentially. But I'm ultimately this Christ mind, right? The logos. But it's like you can look at it another way, more scientific, like cell phone signals that start out at the center and then they emanate out in the smaller they go down, the data gets more and more disconnected from the whole. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
its energy system, its computer chips are smaller. They're not as big as the big fucking what do they call that, server?
Right.
So that's what it has to do too with the chakra system. It's only the seven rays right now in the human being. So our signal is capped right here. And so the signal, believe it or not, it keeps going. You can start turning on and nesting into more transpersonal chakras. The soul star, the earth star, that's a start. That'll get you out of the solar system, the reincarnation trap, essentially. But they keep going all the way to the stellar gateway. So I've been connecting to 12, but I had to start out, dude, from the bottom, man, because it just makes sense. Like, a tree will fucking blow over if it doesn't have strong roots. It can grow up and try to touch heaven all it wants, but as soon as some resistance comes, some wind, some dark energy of some kind, it's just gonna boom until it learns to ground into hell. You know what I'm saying? Another way to look at it is this stream is like a data signal, this pillar of light that's you coming out of the sun, the fifth dimensional higher self. It jumped into the ride, right? And then as it jumped into density into a lower dimension, it got full of blockages, shadow, matter, essentially. And then it makes the connection weaker, and then you get cut off from your higher dimensional selves and your conscious lucid memory out of the third dimension, essentially. You still go into the dream world and shit like that, but it's like a more dim, foggy consciousness. So anyway, you basically shoot in like a light stream and anchor in here, dude. And then it's severed and gets cloudy as fuck, the connection, until you boom, turn back on through toroidal implosion, and then it starts beep, 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 turning back on. It's insane. And then all of a sudden you'll have out of body experiences, you'll have all these crazy abilities, and you're just like, what's going on, man? I feel like I'm living in a fucking movie, like a simulation. Because this pillar also has data in it, believe it or not, which goes by universal law. So, hero's journey, archetype, God's golden veins, these plasma, these like veins are just shooting this data, bro, through these plasma streams, and you're connected to one of them. And so when you start turning it back on, your life will feel like a movie, bro. Because it's already written out. It's already the data's already there. The script, this Christ crystalline data.
Yeah.
So you'll literally start becoming Christ-like. It's insane. The more you connect into this pillar of light. But yeah, it sucks, bro. It's so fucking hard, and God only rewards the disciplined, the ones with the heart and the fortitude and the mind power, the willpower, because you literally have to balance living in this fucking matrix at the same time. And
Right.
so you'll go to work, dude. You know how hard it was for me for 8 fucking years to have these insane out of body experiences, and a lot of them were demonic attacks. Like, and then just wake, and then just come back into my body and be like, okay, I got to get ready for work now. 9 hours
Right.
of work with all these NPCs. Like,
Nah,
I just staring at the wall and shit, thinking about this crazy shit, and people were like, "Are you okay?" Like, it was
bro, that
hard.
I swear, like, I mean, I haven't had no out of body experience yet, but that's how I be at work, bro. Like, it's hard. It's getting. I'm real nice person, conversate with people, but it's just like hard to relate, bro. So hard to relate, and then like I'll just be thinking about shit, bro, just all types of shit, and like they think like I'm something's wrong with me. They'll be like, "Are you okay? Mad? Are you sad?" I'm like, "Nah, my bad. I'm just just thinking."
Yeah, you gotta fucking. I, if I was you, man, I'm just gonna cut ahead right now through the bullshit,
Yeah,
and
go. For,
it's just all about fulfillment, right?
yeah,
And a man doesn't feel really fulfilled unless he's building something that's worthwhile
yeah,
and that's purposeful. Like he wants to fight for something he believes in, you know. And there's a spiritual war going on, and I fully believe that we're soldiers in that war. Now it's not like grab a gun and kill people. It ain't like that. It's more like spiritual, like transmute the dark energy kind of way
yeah,
by living your truth and putting out positive vibes and shit. That's kind of how I see it, soldier wise.
yeah,
But you just got to find what you're good at, skill base wise, and what's needed is spiritual soldiers that can incorporate their gifts through certain mediums like art, like
yeah.
music, right?
Most definitely,
And if I were you, I'd definitely keep pursuing that shit. I watched motherfuckers grind for like 10 years before they even saw any kind of crazy like financial results,
for
you know.
sure. I mean, bro. It's the music's never stop. It's just just keeping up with it. Sustaining during all that. And I mean that's what I'm saying. That's the biggest blow to my ego because I know, bro. Like I know for a fact that it's all gonna come together. it's just, I gotta keep doing it. And even just this week, this got me really hyped. I ain't gonna lie. Monday, I dropped well, I didn't drop it, but Monday this producer hit me up. He's a pretty like big producer. His name's Ronnie J, and he's got big songs. He just been dropping songs as an artist. And I've been hitting him up for like 2 years, but I'm like, yo, let me send you a pack, whatever, whatever. And he just recently saw this I dropped. He liked it. He DM. He was like, "Yo," I was like, "Bet." I was like, "What's the word?" So we're getting in contact and stuff. So I mean, there's always stuff happening. It's just and plus I've been tuning my music too instead of like the 440. I've been trying to do all of it
Ah,
to four.
yeah, you gotta do that, man, because this world is changing and they're waking up. This, for example, I was like testing the waters, kind of. I put out this fucking. I wanted to use Drake and Future, I think is his name is, as my meme template, but then I was
Yeah.
gonna drop some like heavy ass knowledge with it, and to kind of get my tentacles out there into the NPCs. You know what I mean? To see what
Right. Right.
happens, and it worked. The shit went viral, and it's going viral right now. Still, it has been, and it's up to like 300K right now views, and it's beautiful. I went in the comment section; they're all like waking each other up. You get one guy that'll come and be like, "I see this is where all the schizophrenics are," and then like all the awake people start nailing them with knowledge and shit,
Yeah.
and it's like they're getting ratioed. And what's crazy is that this meme is being given by Instagram to all the NPCs because of the Drake shit and all that. Like the algorithm is weird, bro. It's like super manipulated. But so what I'm saying is there's a need for artists that are on this awake shit. You know what I mean? Like, so if I was you, I would put all my content, my lyrics towards some crazy shit that no one else is talking about. Now, I know that there's awake rappers and all that out there already, but maybe just put your own twist on it. Do you know what I mean? And then also, you're right. Like, if you put it to a certain frequency, that's even way more compelling, man. That really is because there's science to that that makes it super important. It literally affects the molecular structure of the water in your body, bro. The tuning,
Yeah.
and then also if they've known this for fucking years, bro. I think in the 50s they started making the music intentionally out of tune because it would literally ricochet like a bullet in their brain and trap in their mind. And they're like, I just can't get this song stuck out of my head. I'm gonna
Right.
go
Right.
buy this record. And I mean, we don't want to do. You don't want to do that. You want to
No.
do
No.
shit that heals people. But
Fact.
what I'm saying is, it makes it that more. I'm just trying to give you like my take, I guess, of what I would do
Yeah.
if I was making the music. But yeah, making it tune. The tuning is huge. Like I would incorporate like a whole marketing. Uh, I don't know what you want to call it. Like I would just put that in my catalog as why it's fucking good.